So I don't think there was one big moment, but just a stirring of being asked to come into a community to meet people that I've never met before, and to start to listen, to meet people where they're at, and just hearing that voice of God whispering, "I'm here already, join me." I believe that the vision that God gave me was to come into a community, to love people, get to know people, listen to people, be present in the community. What that looks like is just listening, coming and meeting people, joining in on groups, visiting people, and just really getting to know people where they're at, people from all different walks of life. Listening, a lot of praying, and meeting people, joining in on groups, groups that probably I would never join, but also just really getting to know people and really get the feel or the vibe of the community. Well, it's pretty much people's perception of church and what I'm here. When I first came here, I introduced myself as chaplain. And that really actually started conversations around, oh, what does a chaplain do, or oh, is this the church? But it started conversations where people were starting to say, oh yeah, conversations around their experiences of church. And I think the biggest thing is people's perception of church through lots of conversation with different people. It's their understanding of what church is, or what are you doing here, what's your hidden agenda. That was the biggest challenge for me, and my thing was just to be present, just to listen, and to pretty much say, I'm here. It's saying to the community that we're here to walk with you. That it takes a lot of patience. That it's not my time, but God's time. Not to rush into certain things. I have this habit around the church, or people know, when I get excited about doing something, I get so excited, but my patience level is just, not the greatest. So being patient with God's time and that particular season for that particular community. So making sure that it's not Faye's agenda, but it's really looking out for the community in God's time. It's discipleship. It's drawing people to Jesus, preaching the gospel, living out the gospel in a foreign land, in a different context, out of your comfort zone. Doing things that you would never normally do within a congregation. So just building a faith community, a community of faith, all different people from all different walks of life, and drawing them to Jesus. That's what I think church planting is. I think coming into this community, I did not know what I was doing. I did not know. I wasn't giving any instructions. I was just called out here to love people, to get to know people. And I think hearing stories about introducing myself as a chaplain, there was some kind of perception of, whether I have a hidden agenda to come and preach at them. But for me, it was, and then being told that when you do Christmas carols, there can't be Christian carols. But realizing that that was just one or two people. It hasn't been the vibe that I've got with a lot of people that I've met. And my focus for me was to preach the gospel through my actions, through showing God's love, compassion, and just being present, which is, I think, was really important for me. And then when doing that, people started to see what we were trying to do. It was about saying that we're the church, we are here to walk alongside you. It's not us against you. It's, hey, how can we do this? So for me, it's kind of like God inviting, I'm already here. That whisper that God gave me, I'm already here, join me. And this is what we are as a church. We're here, join us. Let's do this together. Definitely taken me totally out of my comfort zone, totally out of what I would normally do, coming out from a congregational ministry experiences, another different context within the life of the church. But it's really also pushed me to use my gifts of listening and showing, listening with compassion. But it's not only with people with faith, but people of no faith, or people who've had some pretty bad experiences. So for me, it's seeing myself outside of congregation, which has been amazing, and getting to see the broader call of that God has called upon me, if that makes sense. Definitely the listening, definitely being present, definitely prayer. And what has helped is being with, there are things that I don't know what I'm doing half the time, and but being able to call upon colleagues and my professional supervisor, my coach, to be able to sit with them and really reflect, not only in prayer but also on this vision that God has placed not only in Flagstone but in my heart. So lots of prayer, lots of time of reflection, as I said. Patience usually is I'm pretty good with patience, but when I get really excited about something, I want to go out there, rush and do something. But it's about sitting back and listening to God's voice, and it's in God's time, not my time. Don't go in with any expectations but God's expectation. Go in to listen. The focus is about building relationships and really listening to God's voice in this, because I think if you go in with your own agenda or your own expectation, it doesn't work. I tried it, didn't work, and I think it's just go in and just love on people and live out that gospel of showing love and compassion and definitely patience. To have that mindset that church planting is not one way of doing things. I think even there are so many different, it's really opened my mind of how many different ways we can plant churches. Coming from a background that's focused on within a congregation to now having that space to really look at what it could look like for a community that I've never known before, but also knowing that many church styles or structures or ways of church planting is not the same for many communities. I see this church plant here at Flagstone a very unique way of church planting, because it's, to me, it's pretty much doing the reverse of what we normally know of church planting, where it's taking particular people with particular skills to go out to plant a church. Here it is, it's Faye coming into a community, getting to know the people with no expectation, but just really just listen and get to know the people, get to know the community, get to know the vibe of what happens here in this particular community. But yeah, to not be limited to one way of planting churches, to explore different ways of planting churches. So just that there's no one way of planting churches, there's no one way of spreading God's gospel. Exciting, scary, what's the word? Yeah, exciting, scary, probably at times confusing, challenging, but amazed, not surprised. And the not surprising part comes from not surprised of what God can do, what God has already done.